What if you could own an entire industry? What if you could own your industry? You're not just one of the very many people trying to climb the ladder. You're the person that owns the building they're trying to scale. I'm going to teach you how to do that, and it's easier than you think. I want to tell you that the future of digital marketing has nothing to do with traffic or conversion or engagement or lists or media buying or SEO or PPC or any of the garbage that you're used to hearing people like me talk about. The future of marketing is community. And here's what's interesting is you're probably already really, really good at community. If you own community, you own that industry. I can tell you that because I've done it on a recurring basis. If you engage with any of my content, you know that I'm obsessed with trying to figure out what AI can't do. Right now, in my opinion, AI cannot provide human beings with community. People are desperate for connection. You and I know that because we're both desperate for connection. It's the reason that we go to events, join masterminds, and to be honest with you, even this engagement that we have right now is a form of community. It's the interpersonal connection that we crave. It's the reason that you're not just reading this from a GPT, right? Like you could go, there's a million ways to learn. You've chosen this way because this is a form of community. It's a form of interpersonal connection. We're all primed for it, especially those of us that were raised in the generation of social media. We're primed for creating and cultivating community. What I love about community is there's no endeavor from a marketing perspective that costs less and yields more. So if you think about it, just think about it from a traffic perspective. I'm a traffic guy. My background is in running paid traffic for people. I run over $100 million a year in ad spend for as many as 200 clients at a time. I can tell you from an acquisition perspective, when it comes to acquiring a customer, if you think about every single option on the table, right? Because I can pay for a subscriber, I can pay for a listener, I can pay for somebody to buy my book, download my lead magnet, schedule an appointment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Most transactions, especially if I'm asking for something in return, end up just really setting me up as nothing more than a vending machine. So if I drive traffic for a client and I put an ad in front of somebody and I say, hey, give me money and I'll give you a thing. Well, now I'm a fancy vending machine. Maybe I have a vending machine you really like. Maybe you end up really liking the thing, but I'm still just a vending machine. There's no equity built in that relationship. There's also, it's really difficult for me to go back to that well because you've given me money already and I've given you a thing, which means what? We're even. There's no reciprocity necessary, right? Like you don't feel like you owe me anything. You don't even necessarily like feel like we're friends or part of the community. Contrast that with a massive give on the front end. Contrast that with giving somebody something they wouldn't be able to do for themselves that accelerates whatever it is they're trying to do, accelerates them towards the goal better than anything that they possibly could have purchased, puts them around other people just like them who are also trying to attempt to do that thing. That's a community. Here's the most interesting thing about building and owning a community. You don't have to be an expert. I'm not a trained Montessorian. I didn't go to a Montessori school. I've read some of Maria Montessori's book, but I own the largest community of Montessori schools in the world. How? I'm just the one who pays the bills. And then I bring the experts and I say, hey, I've got 7,500 Montessori schools. Do you want to talk to them? Would that be helpful to you? Right? There's not a Montessori expert on the planet that I couldn't get on a webinar and probably at an in-person event. You don't have to be the expert when you build a community. You just need to be the person willing to do the work. And by the way, the work is easy. Building a community is easy. If you build a community for whoever it is that you serve, whatever niche you serve, you end up owning that industry. You're able to give first. One of my favorite mantras is give first, give last, give more. Give first, give last, give more. Best way to do that is a community. That to acquire a community member is either as expensive or cheaper than almost every other potential acquisition action you can go after. It costs just as much to acquire somebody who enters your community as it does to try to get them to buy your free plus shipping book, or it costs exponentially more to get them to schedule an appointment. It costs exponentially more than that to get them to try to buy something. But what happens when they're in your community? They stay in your community. You have the opportunity to engage with them on an ongoing basis, to earn their trust, to indoctrinate them into your way of thinking, to be an authority, to give them content, to put them around other people that already know, like, and trust you. There's no parallel to community building. I mean that with the passion of 1,000 fires covered in Tabasco sauce on the sun. There's no parallel to community building. Challenge me. Hit me in the comments. What do you think would be more valuable from a marketing perspective than having somebody in your community? It's like, they used to say the money's in the list. It's like having a list that talks to each other about how much they love you. There's no parallel. The more niche you go, the more valuable that community is. You don't even necessarily need to own the community as much as you need to be the authority in the community along whatever level of analysis you're attempting to serve those people. And I'll give you a few examples. There are 4,500 accredited Montessori schools in the United States of America. I own a community that helps Montessori schools grow. I give them completely free resources. There's thousands of resources available to them, including written resources, documents, SOPs, video resources, courses, courses, we do a weekly town hall, we bring in experts. It costs me many thousands of dollars a month to support this community. I love them. I love Montessori schools. I love Montessori school owners. My kids go to Montessori school. I think every child deserves to go to Montessori school. It's a worthy endeavor. There's 4,500 accredited Montessori schools in the United States. I have 7,500 people in this community, which means I have basically every single Montessori school in the country and then people in the periphery. So that might be multiple people from each school, people that are, they call them Montessomethings, international people. I have more Montessori schools in my community than any other Montessori organization. Why? Because I chose to give first, give last, and give more. I invested in them. I'm the one that just planted the flag and said, hey, let me help. And guess what? I also own a Montessori agency that helps Montessori schools market themselves. So I give them all this amazing content, everything that they would ever need to do it for themselves for free. And it's like, gosh, if you want help with that, come pay me money. It ends up being one of the most profitable businesses I've ever owned, and it runs completely independent of my intervention. That's one example. Another example, I built the highest performing real estate investment campaign on the planet, and I can prove that with data. For 7 years, we were able to produce motivated seller leads better than anybody else. All of my clients came from one source. It was the InvestorFuse community. InvestorFuse was a CRM specifically for real estate investors. I think they've sold since then. But we went to the InvestorFuse mastermind and community meetups, and me and my business partner became the authorities on lead generation inside of InvestorFuse. I didn't own the community, but I served it, and all of our highest end clients, all of them came either from InvestorFuse or from InvestorFuse referrals. I built a reputation inside of a community, and it wasn't even the largest community of real estate investors, by the way. It was just a really potent community. Solutions 8, the community we built was on YouTube. All my best clients came from YouTube. All my best employees came from YouTube. All my best strategic partners came from YouTube. I made friends with Frederick Vallis. He was employee 500 at Google, invented conversion tracking, owns a phenomenal PPC software. He wanted to be on my YouTube channel. Jacques Vanderwilt, the CEO of Data Feed Watch, became my buddy because he wanted to be on my YouTube channel. Sean Clark, the CEO of Go High Level, $2.5 billion valuation, changing the world with software. We got his attention because of my YouTube channel, because of the community that we built. Community is the greatest opportunity you have to form real connections by providing people with actual value that allows you to build authority and equity over time. And y'all, it's the well that you continue to go back to over and over and over and over again. At Solutions 8, me and John Moran spent $150,000 to $250,000 a month of our money running paid ads. A month. Imagine spending 6 figures a month running paid ads. Here's what's crazy. You know what outperformed that? Our community, right? We got better leads, higher quality leads, better. We got all of our employees, which is, I actually think, maybe even more important because people started coming to Solutions 8 because they knew we had the best staff in the world. So hundreds of thousands of dollars spent in paid ads still couldn't beat a potent community, which by the way was small. We had 40,000 YouTube subscribers at last count. I think we had 30,000 when I sold the business 2 years ago. We had less than 100 people in the U versus Google Mastermind, but that community was so potent and it gave us everything that we needed in order to really make a stamp as to who was best in the world of Google Ads. What was great about the community is they defended us. I remember, we'd shoot YouTube videos and you'd have the, armchair theorist or the internet trolls that would come along and say something kind of snotty or snarky or mean. And man, our community would just be on them like white on rice. It was crazy. You'd think we were cult leaders at some point, especially John. Nobody could say anything bad about him because he gave, because he built this community. When he built the community, he owned the industry. John Moran owns Google Ads right now. Ask in any forum where people would know, who do you follow for Google Ads? You're going to hear 3 names, and John Moran is almost always going to be the very first one. Shout out to Ed Leek, who is generally number 2, which I know just tickles him pink. Sorry, Ed. I love you dearly. The best part, communities grow themselves. They're self-perpetuating. Why? Because Montessori schools tell other Montessori schools, oh, you have to go join the Montessori Thrive. Or Google Ads specialists tell other Google Ads specialists, oh, you got to go subscribe to the Solutions 8 YouTube channel. Or people at InvestorFuse refer other people, other real estate investors like, oh man, you got to go hire these guys. Plant a flag, build a community. If you feel like the industry is too big for you to make a dent, niche down. And by the way, one of the best places to niche down is geographically. If we're talking about a massive industry, be the community leader in your city, in your town, in your zip code. Why? Because nobody else wants to do it. Because it's not scalable. Because it doesn't scale. I've got a great video on why things don't scale, by the way, or why you shouldn't chase scale. Go watch that video. In the meantime, build a community. And by the way, you can build a community anywhere. I'm building a community here on YouTube. You can build a community using Alex Hormozi's school if you want Alex Hormozi to come and steal your customers from you. You can build a community in high level. Podcast in a way is its own community. You can build in person. You can build a mastermind. Build the community that works for you in a way that would allow you to give to them on an ongoing basis without stressing you out. And you'll find the greatest marketing and business asset you've ever had in this community. I guarantee it. You will find the greatest marketing and business asset you will ever have. Try me. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. If you don't mind, like the video, juice the algorithm, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, comment if you have questions or other topics you want me to cover, and most importantly, if you want to help me grow, share this and share it with context. Let people know what you liked, what you disliked, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, and why they should watch
watch and follow. I'd love to hit 1 million subscribers, and I'd love to do that with your help. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.